that dew? It's dry on this side, but wet on this side. Is it dew? It's 89 degrees. It's only 9:21. I couldn't sleep last night, but good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Oh my God. Look how beautiful the sky looks. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Thank you, Jesus. Oh boy. We're headed to go get breakfast. I have nothing to eat here for breakfast. I made pancakes yesterday and bacon, which was really good. However, I don't want pancakes again. So we're going to my favorite place. You all. My forehead was itching yesterday, like really bad, and it was only one spot. Oh, I was just sneezing, by the way. Sorry about that. It was only one spot. I scratched the crap out of it, and now I have a red spot on my forehead. I mean, I was able to cover it up with some concealer right now, but I don't know what got into me that I was just, it was so itchy, you know, almost like eczema, you know, itchy. And then when I saw myself, I was like, oh no. Yesterday, my sister-in-law called me in the morning, and she wanted to go look at this reception hall today. However, it was going to be $500 from each of us, from 4 people. And she was asking me, do you think you all can put in $500? And I was like, no. That's way too much over our budget, you know, and such short notice, because she needs it by next month, mind you. And I was like, I can't. I was gonna let that guy in, but he's here to work on the air conditioner, and I should have. But I was just talking away, wasn't I? So I said, no, we can't. I mean, he just got a truck. Your brother just got a truck, and I just got a car. They didn't know about the car, and I hadn't told them because I don't want any bad juju, you know? And so I told her yesterday, she's like, oh, you got a car after all? Or like if it was planned. And I said, yeah, no, we did. But it just so happened to like fall into place, you know? My friend contacted me, asked me if I was in the market, and I said, well, only if you can do this and this. And I mean, everything about this car fell into place, because we didn't even have to have a down payment, you all. You know what, I'm going to turn over here real quick, because if not, I'm going to get to the restaurant, and I'm going to finish telling you on my story, and sorry about that. We almost got that apartment right there, and we didn't get it because they told us that our credit was bad. This was years ago. Years ago. And we're like, whatever. And they actually gave us a copy of our credit report. And these apartments are so old, by the way. They are so old, and what they were asking for was reasonable, I feel, but to go through that extent of, oh, let's pull your credit report, let's da-da-da-da. And it was over something like really dumb that they didn't, an old bill, like an old utility bill that they were saying that we hadn't paid on. And it was years ago, years back on that utility bill. And I should have come to the park. There's not very many people, and it would have done me some good. Maybe I'll come this evening. No parking anytime. Okay, so where do I park then? I can't even park here? No parking anytime. Oh, well, no wonder nobody's on this side. I'll have have to go to the other side then, my usual side. Let's go back to the other side. There's a whole bunch of signs on this side that says no parking anytime. So anyway, like I was saying, we didn't get it. And I was really disappointed. It was like a little townhome. And the only thing is that I didn't like was that the area, like the little, it wasn't even much of a patio. It was only like maybe like 2 feet long, and that was it. That's where you could barbecue if you wanted. My husband didn't like that part. You know, he was like, well, it's not even worth it, you know. And I said, nah, you're right. And so that's when we found the villas. However, in the villas we couldn't barbecue anyway, because we lived, even if you lived downstairs, you couldn't barbecue in the patio area, because common sense, you're like so close to the building. The patio is attached to the building. So in 8 years he never barbecued, and so we're like, well, we should have just, you know, tried to get the other one anyway, you know, like. But the lady wasn't wanting to hear it. You know, the landlady there, she wasn't wanting to hear it. She was dead set on saying, nope, you don't qualify because of this, this, and this, you know? And we're like, are you serious, you know? But, you know, thank God, you know, we found this place over here, and it's perfect. It maybe not too perfect, but it's perfect compared to these other places. It is perfect, you know? And excuse me. So anyway, I forgot what I was telling you all. What was I telling you all about? I'm so like focused on trying to find a parking spot, and I was like, wait, what was I talking about? And then I went off on the apartments. Okay, let me think for a sec. Now that I'm parked, I was talking about. What was I talking about? Oh, don't you all hate this? When you get older, you forget so much stuff. Just give me a second, you all. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. I had to pause you all to think back. My sister-in-law, we were gonna go look at the reception hall. That's what I was talking about. And then how she wanted $500. And then I told her about the car, and I didn't want bad juju because that's why I hadn't mentioned anything, right? So what happened is that she told my father-in-law, you can invite some people from church, because my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, as I mentioned before, but you all may not know because you all don't listen to my videos or you just don't care. But anyway, they lead a group. They're Catholic. They lead a group in Spanish at their church that they attend. And it's, I'm confused about the group, by the way, because they've had the same group forever and ever. It's married couples. Some of them are young. Some of them are old. But when I mean young, I mean like in their 40s. I don't mean like, you know, their age. Or, my father-in-law is going to be 80, and my mother-in-law is in her late 70s. But what I mean is that they're not young, like they're not like under 40. And so anyway, or under 45 for that matter. They're up in age, and they've been in that group forever, and they do trips together, they pray together, you know. It's kind of like a marriage counseling thing. I don't know. You know, honestly, I don't know what it is, because it's the same people. And usually at my church, when we have groups, we change every so often. You know, it's not, oh, you know, you join this group and you're in it for life. We change, you know, like, go try another group now. Let somebody else try this one, type of thing, you know? Anyhow, so she told him that he can invite, you know, people from his group. And then he told her, well, if I invite these couples, I'm going to have to invite everybody, because it's not right for me to leave everybody else out. Well, then she was like, she looked into that reception hall, And for, I believe she said for 80 people, which is kind of weird because he's turning 80. For 80 people, that's including some of his family from his side. And of course, the mom's side is the one that has all the family, of course. And the friends, it was going to be $500 each from us. And I was like, what? I said, V, I call her V, right, for now. V, I said, you know, that's a lot of money. Because the grand total, you all, was going to be like $1,822. Which is not bad, because it would be the reception hall, the cake, and the food. And then they clean up. We don't have to worry about it. That's a really good price. And I kept telling her, you know what, that's a really good price, but honestly, we cannot afford to give you $500. We just can't, you know? And I said, I hate to say this, but, and I'm going to say it with all respect, but I said, it should be just for family. The friends at church, you know, and this slipped. The friends at church, you know, if they really wanted to do something for your dad's birthday, they could do it themselves. They could do something on the side just themselves, just the group, which is what they do all the time anyway. I said, but for now, it should be just family, just your mom's family, his family, and that's it. Just your family, you know? And she's like, yeah, but I don't want him to get mad. You don't understand. He yelled at me the other day and da-da-da-da. And I said, well, we cannot come up with that much money in just a couple of weeks. You're giving us like, what, 2 weeks to come up with it? $500. We're already at the end of the month and we have to start a new month, and all just so that we can feed the friends, you know? And I'm like, it's not doable. I'm sorry. It's not for us anyway. You know, maybe they have $500 tucked away under their pillow, but we don't. I wish we did, but we don't. So anyhow, she's like, okay, well, let me try to talk to him. I'll call him in a bit. Da, 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 da. And then she texts me. I don't think she even asked him. She texts me and she's like, can you all do 300? And I'm thinking, okay, this chick, what she's planning on doing is putting 700 in. You know, that way we only put 300 and she'll put the extra because she has the money. And you all, this is my thought process, okay? I did tell her, yes, we could do 300, but let me talk to my husband, your brother, just to make sure. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we could do the 300. And so my husband's going to say yes regardless. Whether we can come up with it or not, he's going to say yes. He will pull it out from somewhere. If he has to get an advance in his pay, he will. Which isn't right. But whatever, you know. But this is my thought process, you all. They went to Vegas. When they went to Vegas, that could have been his present. She could have informed the rest of us that they wanted to go to Vegas, that they were going to take the parents to Vegas, the in-laws, given us time to join them also, so we could have all celebrated with our father-in-law in Vegas. Everybody would have loved that. But no, they kept it hush-hush. Whatever. Okay, do you, boo. Right? However, when we met the parents for breakfast, for my birthday breakfast, because they were nice enough to take me for my breakfast. And let me get to that part before you all, you know, start, Moan, why are you talking about them like that? Hold on. Hold your horses. When we went to breakfast, the mom, my mother-in-law, she was telling us on how the first time they won $800, the second time they won $700. Okay? So that's about, what, $1,500–$1,600. And I said, oh, wow, I would have quit. I would have been like, that's good enough for me. I'm quitting. You know, no more gambling for me. You know, I'm staying in the room, you know. And we were all, like, I was joking around like that. And But I'm not lying. I would have stayed in the room after that. I would have been like, nah, we ain't going gambling anymore. I'm going to stay in my room, you know. Let me know when you all want to go eat something. And we're going to eat like White Castle or something, you know. We ain't going to go nowhere fancy. Anyway, so let me get a drink. So, she's telling us this, okay? And then she said, no, we don't keep it. We keep gambling. And so they kept gambling and they lost everything. They lost all the $1,600. You all, I'm not good at math, so bear with me. And so I'm like, what? My jaw just dropped. When it came time to paying the bill, you know, once we were done eating, we were done talking and everything. And by the way, my mother-in-law loves to rub things in my face. She loves to brag about herself. She likes to brag about their wealth, if they had any. And she loves bragging about everything and anything, you know. And she watches for my reaction. And then she'll brag about the niece that I don't like. She's always bringing her up. And she'll brag about her nephew's wife, the one that can do no wrong, that had 4 kids every year in a row, and she can do no wrong. Talk about your Hannah. I'm the Hannah, okay? Because like my video from yesterday when I was saying like I think I want to adopt a baby, right? Because I wanted to have a child with my husband, but I couldn't. I already had a tumor. I wasn't aware of it, but I could never get pregnant. And you know, all of a sudden things started happening, and that happened, and I had to have an emergency hysterectomy, you know, so we couldn't have any babies. And you know, I think he would have liked one with me too, but he had issues himself, and he's the one that came up with, let's do the rent to own, which meant he wanted to adopt. And I said, all right, well, let's really talk about this, because this is like a really big step that we're taking, right? Well, back then I changed my mind, and I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think I'm, you know, wanting another child, you know, I'd rather just get another cat or a little doggy if I have to, but no children. I wouldn't know what to do anymore. But anyhow, so the check comes and it's $80. I guess the number of the month is 80, you know. Anyhow, so it's $80. And we went to the IHOP, by the way. And my husband's like, here, I'll pay for it. And then the dad was like, no, I told you all that I was going to pay for it. You know, I'll pay for it. And then he was like, oh, it's $80. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. And my husband's like, here, take 40. Take at least 40. Take our, you know, for us. And he was like, well, all right. And he took it. And I was like, excuse me, wait a minute. First of all, you offer to pay for breakfast, and now you're like, oh, it's too much. When you just went to Vegas with your daughter and you lost $1,500. I got it right this time, y'all. You lost $1,500. But yet $80 is too much. And I was just like, wow. I was like, ugh. I wanted to like kind of like throw up my food at that point, because I was just like so disgusted, you know. And I was just like, okay, well, thanks for bringing me for breakfast. Yeah, super thanks. You know, thanks, husband. And they did do this. I'm going to say this part that's good. They gave me a card with $40, which is what we put in for the breakfast. But, you know, whatever. And I got me a hairdryer from Ulta, it was pretty good. You know, I think I'm going to exchange it. It's a little too light. It blows very, you know, it's not like what the picture looked like. It's rose gold. It's a Conair, but it was $45, mind you. But it doesn't even look Conair. It looks like, it doesn't even look rose gold. It looks pink, okay? And it's not even a hot pink. It's like and it's not even a rose gold pink. It's just a light Barbie pink. You know, that's like, what the hell is this? And it feels like a Barbie hairdryer. But I'm giving it a chance. I have 30 days to exchange it, return it, whatever I want to do, right? So, you know what? I think Ulta's a little longer. I'm just so bad at math, y'all. Anyway, so, you know, when my sister-in-law was asking us for $500, I was just like, and yes, I'm still on that. I was like, no. Like, no. I mean, and plus, I already got my father-in-law a gift. You all? I got him a cologne from Bath and Body. And it's really nice. It comes in a really nice packaging. I hope he likes how it smells. You know, it's vanilla Nior or Nior vanilla, something like that. And my husband's like, well, what if it smells like shit? And I'm like, can't you all just appreciate that I go out of my way to do something? You know, if he thinks it smells like shit, then he can return it. Sorry that I got rude there, but hey, you know, I may be nice, but I'm not a doormat, right? So, anyhow, my sister-in-law, I was telling her when it was the $500, you know, between the four of us, I was telling her, you know, are people even going to take gifts for your father? You know, because we're spending all this money to feed everybody, to entertain everybody. It's like a wedding. And not to take a gift? And she's like, probably not, because it's family. And I said, well, maybe you should give them a hint that it's that kind of party, that they need to at least take a gift. You know, put RSVP or something, and then they'll know, like, oh, it's a fancy party, we're going to have to take a gift. You know, who the hell shows up to anybody's birthday party or wedding or anything, quinceañera, whatever, without a gift? Come on now, don't be that guest that you're just there to get fed for free, you know? So anyhow, I was like, well, and then she mentioned, oh yeah, so then she mentioned, we'll see the favorite sister-in-law, by the way, you all, in case y'all missed that, I've spoken about her before. C mentioned about all of us pitching in for a gift. And I'm like, oh, so it's going to be 500 plus another 200 for the gift? Yeah, no, sorry, sister. I'm out. We're out. I speak on behalf of myself and my husband. No, declined. And I didn't even get to tell her that I had already gotten a gift because she had to go already. And then that's when she texted me, like, can you do 300? And I was like, I think 300 is doable, but let me talk to my husband, you know, to your brother. And hi, sir. Good morning. You have a nice walk. Yes, there's somebody in their car, which is me. Yes. And no, I'm not stalking you. I could care less about you. And anyhow, so that was going on. And, you know, like I said, my husband said yes. And he said, I'll just pull it out of over here, the extra. This is another part that I found out. And I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to let you all know that I don't like this dishonesty. My husband sends me money every Thursday, okay, for the bills. And I get a little extra left over. I used to have a lot left over. But now because of the vehicles, I'm going to have a lot less left over. But it's okay because it's doable. It's still doable. I can still survive on whatever I have left over. But let me tell you this. He only sends me so much for the bills and for me to have left over, like for a little bit of grocery and all. Yesterday, he lets out, oh, well, I'll just take it out of my part. Because you know how I send you this much? Well, I have this much, a little bit more left over, and I'll just send you from there. I'll send you the $300 so that you can give to my sister. Oh, so we have the she don't know money. Oh, okay. I remember the guys at work when I worked at the dealership. they would all tell me about the she don't know money. And I was like, what's that? I never knew what that was. And then they were like, there's money that she don't know about. And they had it in their wallet. It was cash. I was like, oh, okay. And so yesterday I found out that my husband has the she don't know money that he's been keeping for me. And sometimes I'm needing something and I can't get it. I have to wait till the following week when it's no longer on sale, and he don't give it to me. Sometimes he will, when he sees that, okay, all the bills have been paid, that I paid for all the bills and I only have this much left over. He'll be nice enough to be like, oh, here, let me send you an extra 20, and he'll Zelle it to me. Not Cash App, Zelle, because our bank has Zelle. And that's why he had me switch to Plains Capital, because he's the one that initially had an account there. My account was at PNC. I really liked PNC way better. But, he's like, no. Get an account at Plains Capital. And that way I can send money to you a lot easier, because at PNC there was going to be a fee. So I'm like, okay. So, that's a good thing about us having Plains Capital. However, at PNC, I wasn't getting charged for having only this amount in my account, whereas Plains Capital does. In fact, I had a savings with Plains Capital and a checking, and my savings, I had about 5 something in there. Well, because I never deposited any more money into that account, they started charging me. And they were charging me $30. And I was like, what the hell is this? Whoa, wait a minute. Why are you all charging me $30? Oh, because for inactivity. And I'm like, no, you all are going to clean me dry just charging me for inactivity. I thought a savings, it was there for a savings, like there for good. Nobody touches it. No, ma'am, we changed our policy. And I was like, oh, well then I'm just going to go ahead and close that account then. I had like 4 something left. I ended up having to close that account. And so I no longer have a savings. So, but by the way, you all, I'm not going to tell this part. And I shouldn't have told him about that money that I got. There's some money that we got, and I told him that I wanted to put that in the savings. And he told me to cash it and just put it in the door. And I said, no, because then if you know it's in there, you're going to be like, oh, let me get the $300 from my dad and I'll replace it. I'll pay it back next weekend. Which he won't, because he did that. He already did that. He took $100 that we had there for vacation. He already took it out for something else. And oh, it was for the breakfast. That's right. He got it that day. He took it out and he's like, oh, no, I'll put it back next week. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it's been 2 weeks now and it hasn't been replaced. So I'm like, no. So I told him about the money, and I shouldn't have. My son advised me not to. And the Christian that I am, oh, no. I can't do it. God's going to punish me. No. I should tell him. I told him. And I think even God at that point was like, I would not have punished you, child. I would have understood, and so anyway, I'm thinking about doing he don't know money at that point. But he knows. But I'm thinking that, I think we're going to take off you all, because people are like, is she ever going to get out of the car? Are you going to walk? Are you going to run? Or are you just going to stay in your car because you're not going to lose weight in your car, lady? Look. So I'm thinking about just saving, doing my own thing with that. Saving it, not going back to PNC where they didn't charge me. You know what I mean? You all know where I'm going with this, right? I'm thinking about doing just that. And whenever he asks me about it, I'm like, oh, it's tucked away it's safe. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it, right? Like, we're good. We're good. And just doing that way, because I know PNC is not, well, I'm going to have to double check with them, but I know they won't charge me for having a savings. If anything, they'll add to it, you know, the interest over time. But at least I'll have that money in there, and I can deposit $20 out of whatever I have left over, you know, in there, so that I can have a savings. Because if you all remember, we have no life insurance. He has not gotten any life insurance. Anything happens to him, I'm out. I'm out in the street. I need money. I need some money saved for me. So, you know, please, you all that, you negative people out there, please, you know, don't wish anything bad on me, please. I don't wish anything bad on you. I don't understand why some of you would even do that. Like, do you all not believe in karma? You know, you reap what you sow. So if you're sowing something bad to happen to someone, it's going to happen to you over and over until you learn your lesson. And some of you all don't learn your lessons. Some of you all want to continue the wrong way. Please don't. Like, I'm asking you, please do not wish anything bad on me. Please, you know, just let me be. Just let me be. I'm no bother to you. I'm not taking away from your mouth. I'm not taking away from your savings or your pockets, for that matter. I have no cash app on my YouTube channel. Please don't wish anything bad on me. Okay? Thank you. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. And Action Behavior Centers. What is that? Therapy for autism. Oh, okay. That wasn't there before. Awesome. And so, anyway, I'm going to end with this. I saw a video on Instagram last night because I couldn't go to sleep. And usually when I try to go to sleep, I'll watch videos on Instagram until I finally get so bored that I'm just like, okay, now I'm ready. I can go to sleep. So I ran across one, and I'm not even sure how honest and true this is, but this lady comes out and she's like, I know you. Those of you that ever since 2020, not, I was going to say 19, you all have been going through this, depression, anxiety. You don't know what's wrong with you. You get these rashes, you know, out of nowhere ever since you got the jab, and you have brain fog and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, fatigue, all these things that she was naming. And she's like, you're not crazy. And I know that doctors cannot diagnose you, but you're not crazy. And then she mentioned how it's this and this and this, and then how some of us have been diagnosed with, I haven't, but some of us, she said, have been diagnosed with Epstein-Barr and something else, depression, and I don't know, some other stuff she named. And why is this person standing by the tree at the drive-thru? That's an odd place to stand. You hold on. 33 minutes so far. That's been a long video. I'm waiting for my food, you all, so I had you all on pause. But yeah, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna watch that video again to see what it is. And also, I left out one other thing. I finally heard back from his daughter, and all she told me was that she had been busy with the baby and the 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old does have a virus called the hands mouth and feet virus, something like that. Apparently, and her mother-in-law was telling me about this on Sunday when I was there. There's a virus going around that I never heard about. Then again, I don't have little ones, and you know, I don't work with a school or anything, but a virus going around that's affecting children, you all, and they get it either through the air or contact, with another child that has it. And also it has to do with hygiene, which I suspected. And he has that. That's why he broke out in a rash on his legs. I thought it was strep, but no. And then I thought it was chicken pox, because they look like little pimples everywhere. But no, they're on his legs, they're on his groin, they're on his arms, his face, in the back of the throat. They get it in the mouth. They get sores, which I can imagine how uncomfortable that might feel. I don't want ugh. I imagine it burns. Anyway, and I'm like, what? Hold on, y'all. Okay, thank you. So I'm like, what? So I'm gonna send them, some Pedia Pops for the 2-year-old and some soups or something. I'm gonna send her something. I'm just gonna like order it through the Walmart and just send it, because I don't trust these people. I just don't trust them. I looked it up and it said just to keep them hydrated. And I don't know if a 2-year-old can have Gatorades, so I'm like, I'll just send them Pedia Pops, and that might soothe the throat also as well. But I always tell my older son about his kids, his additional adopted kids. I don't know what to call them, additional kids, blessings. I always tell them, they need to take a shower, because they were only giving them a shower at night, and that's it. And I said, no. You need to shower them at night and in the morning. Those kids need to take because he was telling me how sometimes they don't even shower them every day. And I said, what? I said, you're going to have these kids going to school with stinky butts? No. They need to shower. I got after him, and I got after her as well as mom. So they started showering the kids more often, needless to say. Now, with her, at first, when the 2-year-old was a lot younger, when she would keep him really clean. Then all of a sudden, now, I've seen him with his little feet. I mean, they're both really white, and in complexion. So his little feet were black. And I'm like, oh my God, his feet are black. Because what else does she not do? She doesn't encourage socks. And so I'm like, okay, his hair would feel kind of hard. And no, I know they're not bathing him, okay? They're not bathing him on a daily basis. Why parents do that, I don't know. Parents, don't be lazy. Bathe your children. My children were always in the tub. Always. Now, when they got older as teens, they go through that phase where they're like, oh, no, I don't smell. I don't need to take a shower. And I would force, it's horrible. But as little ones, they loved the bathtub. So anyway, yeah, bathe your kids and be very aware of this virus that's going around if you have little ones. Now, she has a newborn, and that really, you all, that's another reason why I was so worried yesterday, because I'm like, she's got the 2-year-old around the baby, like, oh my God, the baby doesn't even have his first vaccines yet. He's an infant. He was just born this past Friday. Like, you need to quarantine the 2-year-old. Have your mom watch him until he gets better, and then bring him back and sanitize your home. That's what I would do. But again, what do I know? I've never had kids. What do I know? I had a surrogate. That's what I had. Yeah, sure. I have no idea what it's like to have kids. Yeah, I'm like fighting over here with the trucks because two big trucks tried to get in front of me, and I'm like, I got in front of them. I sped up and I got in front of them, and now this truck, it went beside me. Oh great! Wait, what? There's a guy that turned on their lights like a police lights, and is in a regular car. Is that like somebody undercover? I had to slow down because I was going 50. Is that somebody undercover? Like, I've never seen that. I got saved again, you all. And, so anyhow, thank you all for listening. I had to get all of this off my chest. I really did. I feel better today. You know, I have my counseling on Thursday. Tomorrow I have my doctor's appointment for my blood test results. Oh joy. I'm not excited about that. Oh, that's another thing the mother-in-law was telling me about though. That she also has type 2 diabetes, and she makes her own concoctions, according to her. And it's turmeric and rosemary and then cinnamon, and you boil it all together, you drink it. She's like, it tastes nasty, you're probably going to want to throw up, but it works because my A1C went down. If you all want me to share that, I will on my community post. Darn it, I was going to share my pastor's message Sunday from yesterday. Anyway, yesterday. And I forgot. Anyhow, again, thank you all for listening, and I really appreciate you all that do take the time to listen to me. I don't have very many people that listen to me. I maybe have, what, one or two, and that's fine. As long as there's one or two, I'm good. You know? Maybe there's more of you. I don't know. I really don't keep up with all that, but again, I just wish good for everyone. I don't want anybody to wish bad on me. There's no need for that. I don't wish bad on you. Even if you're going at your worst moment, I still, like, I pray for you. I pray that things go better for you. You all, look at that. You all see that beautiful sky right there? I'm driving. You all, that's beautiful. It looks like mountains. Like mountains. Let me see if I can see it when I get home. Because I am in the middle of traffic, and they're probably like, lady, what are you doing? Are you nuts? I checked around before, you all. I checked around to see, make sure there's no po-po, you know? 5-0, no 5-0, no po-po. Let me park my car in my spot, and then I'll get out to see if I can see it so I can show you all. It looked beautiful. Beautiful. I'm so into the sky, you all. I'm into the sky, the clouds, the moon, the stars. Not so much the sun because it hurts my eyes. But yeah, everything else I love. You can see it right here. Oh, I think I'm going to take a picture of it and share it too. I just want to share everything. Look. I hope the camera does it justice. You will see that? It's starting to fade though, but it looks like a mountain. All right, you all. Love you. Bye.